morning. It's Monday, July 31st. And at long last, I am getting some news that I appreciate, that I really have been waiting a long time for. It's been 17 months since the Russian-Ukrainian war started. And in all that time, I have always wanted Ukraine to strike at Russia. And apparently now they are beginning to strike at Russia. They are beginning to get drones attacking various important infrastructure in Russia. There's a picture of a drone attack that hit a building in Moscow. And the Russians are not denying it this time because it's evident, it's out there. And now they are worried, seriously worried about these drone attacks, which should have taken place much earlier in the game. But now that Ukraine has opened up and is now willing and looking to attack places within the Soviet Union, I guess we don't call it the Soviet Union anymore, it's Russia. So within Russia, they have attacked buildings and they have attacked oil fields, which I think is a terrific idea because Russia depends on its oil supplies to the rest of the world. It's part of the great monetary foundation of Russia. And the Russians have admitted that this attack is taking place. And they have admitted that this is the latest in a wave of attacks that Russia has been faced with over the last few days. And Russia now realizes that there are very few places in Russia that are off limits after 17 months of war. So Russia been on a cakewalk up to this point in time, since nothing has happened on their soil. But that has changed drastically over the last couple of days. One drone was destroyed, but two other drones did great damage. And you could see pictures of the blown out windows and twisted beams of one of Moscow's premier skyscrapers. So now maybe Russia will pay more attention. And there are rumors out there that Putin is seeking a peace treaty of some kind. But I am sure that's not going to happen so fast because I am sure that he is going to make demands that are far beyond any reasonable demands that he should be making. Since he started this war, he is greatly responsible for the results and the damages. So if he's going to acquiesce to some kind of peace agreement, is he also going to pay for all the damage that he has severely done? Is he going to owe Ukraine anything and step up to the plate and say, okay, I made a big mistake? No, you know none of that is going to happen. And I'm sure that all of you know that up to this point, Ukraine has never taken any responsibility for attacks on Russia because they wanted to maintain a military advantage and an element of surprise. But now, Ukrainian officials said last week that the recent drone attacks were orchestrated by Kiev. And a few hours after, a Ukrainian official made a statement, but he didn't openly admit that they were responsible for the attack. But he said they got what they wanted. There's always something flying in Russia, including Moscow. And those who are not affected by the war are now affected, which creates certain mood that Russia can no longer ignore. They can no longer claim they shot down everything. So it's a snide remark that's made sort of unofficially, but it puts Russia on notice that this is the beginning of possibly the end. Because if they keep getting drone attacks, they can't possibly manage to shoot everything down every single time. Now, the only question in my mind is, can the Allies keep supplying Ukraine with enough drones to keep these attacks up? And enough supplies to do real damage? You know, the EU and the United States and NATO Everybody who's on Ukrainian side hasn't been as forthcoming as I would have liked to have seen them. I haven't seen the Ukrainians really supplied with enough, I'll call it ammunition, to do the job that needs to be done. But meanwhile, Russia's attention is now focused on the fact that they have been attacked and that the citizenry in Russia knows there's something that's going on. Now, many in the Russian arena, many of the citizens probably are okay with this attack. They don't seem to be up in arms against this war. But who knows? There were many young people that left the country to avoid serving in the Russian army at this point in time. And then, of course, the Russians have accused Ukraine of attacking Crimea. Now, as I recall, Crimea used to be part of Ukraine. So why wouldn't the Ukrainians attack parts of Crimea just to get it back? Russia is claiming on Sunday that a new wave was launched overnight at their oil facilities and at their military bases deep inside Russia. Well, what the hell does Russia expect? They want a free ride? They want to come in and destroy an entire country and then walk away? That's not the way it's going to work. And I think Russia is finding that out now. They're finding out that the Ukrainians are not done with this thing. And let's hope that Ukrainians can do enough damage to get Putin off his ass and to get out of there and allow the world to continue without this mess going on. But I doubt that. I doubt that Russia will do that. I doubt that Putin is willing to step aside and say, oh, I made a big mistake. He's not going to crawl away with his tail between his legs. So I think that Ukraine has to increase their drone attacks. The level and intensity of attacking Russian soil must continue. At this point in time, there is no point in saying we didn't do anything. Ukraine should take the credit, admit they made these attacks, and state categorically that it's not going to stop until Russia gets the hell off their horse and out of their face. So I leave you with that. Russia damaged, not severely, but damaged nevertheless. Have a great day. Bye.